Today on Till Vacuum Do Us Part. Hello guys, and welcome to Till Vacuum Do Us Part, and welcome to my summer home projects. These are like do-it-yourself projects you can do yourself, save money, but I feel like when summer hits, there's just some stuff that needs to get done around the house, and the first thing we're going to do is move this trampoline because we're going to be putting up our pool. We like to just put it up during the warm months, that way it stays clean and it lasts longer. Like this is the third year we'll be using the same pool, so it's just a great thing for kids to do, and you definitely get your money's worth. But I wanted to show you these stakes. Chase's dad made them for us. Here in Oklahoma, it is super windy, so we have to make sure that our trampoline does not blow away. It's happened before and landed on our neighbor's roof even when it was staked down, so he made us these heavy duty ones. So we pull them up and we're gonna move the trampoline over because this is actually where we put the pool. But first, before we finish all of that up, I do want to thank Walmart for sponsoring this part of today's video. You guys all know about Walmart. I don't have to introduce them at all. We love them. But what I do want to talk about is their backyard fun at a value. I picked up so many different things for our backyard for the summer. We spend so much time back here swimming, playing in the yard, watching TV, just hanging out, and they have everything you need to host a party or just hang out with your kids and keep them at home and keep them entertained. They're not in school now, so they're gonna need stuff to do, and we found some of the best activities, and of course they're all on amazing affordable prices. Savannah loved this like rock art. She said the paint was such amazing quality. She uses paint all the time, so that says a lot about this. And it came with everything that you needed to do. So if you have kids or friends coming over, I felt like this was such an easy, inexpensive thing you can do. Plus, we picked up a ton of floaties. We put up our above ground pool every single year. We love it. It saves us so much money from running and going to like splash pads and water parks and all of that. It's just fun in our backyard and it will last you multiple seasons. Plus, they have amazing floaties this year. Savannah picked out some for her, which of course they had like confetti in them and they were super fun. That one in the back says vacay, but I picked up a few for myself as well that have like cup holders. I can float around and be above the water but in the water at the same time. They have so many amazing products out right now. You definitely need to check them out. Walmart has this whole line right now and it's called Packed Party, and they have amazing stuff like party supplies, pool stuff. You could throw the cutest summer party, so keep that in mind. And you are going to see a sneak peek here in a second of our pool. It's already up, but if you stay tuned, I'm going to be showing you in today's video how we set that up. So definitely don't click off yet. But just a reminder, if you want to save on all your needs for summer of fun in your backyard, Walmart has pools and pool floaties, water toys, lawn games, bikes, scooters, and so much more. So I'm going to link all the products that you're seeing today down below in my description box. So definitely click on those links, check them out, and just remember they do offer 2 free day shipping and returns on orders over $35. So I'm going to have all those links down below in my description box for you of all the products I've shared today. And one little tip, go ahead and put your soothing sunburn gel in your refrigerator and you will thank me later when you have a sunburn. But I do want to thank Walmart again for sponsoring today's video. Once again, I have all their links down below in my description box, but now let's head back to moving the trampoline. I thought this scene was so funny. George got stuck underneath the trampoline. I guess he was underneath there, and when we were moving it, he like panicked and couldn't get out. So he's a silly boy, but he's always right underneath. Tiger is too. But we're gonna go ahead and just get this moved over here. This is typically where it goes in the summer, and then once we take our pool down, the grass is always dead, and so we just like to move the trampoline over there to cover it up so the boys don't go under it as much, and she can just walk on to the trampoline or step onto it from the concrete patio so her feet don't get grassy. But in the summer it just has to go over there. And then I'm also going to start putting out all my pillows. I do this several times a week because here in Oklahoma it has been raining a lot, so we put them under the cover patio, and then when it stops raining I put them out, and so we just kind of play this back and forth game.
As long as you're with me, get rid of all your sorrows in this summer city. There's no place on earth I would rather be.
So in the summer, your kids are going to be jumping more, so if you own a trampoline, this is a good time to go ahead and make sure all those like screws and bolts are nice and tight, especially if you're going to be moving it around. I feel like it kind of shakes things up, so just make sure everything's working really well. And now that we have the trampoline where we want it, Chase is going to put the stakes back in immediately, because if we forget, a storm will come and it'll be gone, so we have to do it immediately.
There's no place on earth I would rather be.
I don't wanna stay here, no. Ain't gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road.
So here is the trampoline. There's something about moving it over to this side of the yard. It always makes our yard feel bigger, which is funny because it should actually make it feel smaller. But when the trampoline's up and the pool's up, I just absolutely love our backyard. So that's what we're gonna start now. I've had so many people ask us how we put up our above ground pool, so we're going to show you. The first thing Chase is doing is just knocking down all the grass just so it's nice and flat. You don't want grass like poking through the bottom because it can cause a leak if it's like a weed or like a strong or sharp one. And then you can put sand down if you need to level it out really well, plus it makes it really soft on your feet when you're in the pool, but we don't do that since we take it down a few months later. But he does take the rake and just try to take down some of the higher areas to make it as level as possible.
Never need a plan. We'll be alright, just you and I. Singing from the top of our lungs. Dancing by the lakeside. Gonna do it while we're young. In a moment it will all be gone. You gotta understand that we get one chance.
We've learned this is the best way to store the pool. We just keep it out in our shed. I'm sure there's lots of different ways to do it, but we just get a big old tub, put it in there, and then we just grabbed like a garbage can for all the poles and everything, so that we can just keep all the parts together. It actually holds in really well, and then when it's time to set up, we know where all the pieces are. The next step is to add a tarp on the ground. This is the tarp that comes with it to go over the top, so if you want to cover it, but that's never worked for us here in Oklahoma. It's just way too windy, and it's just the perfect size for underneath it, so we just use the top tarp that it comes with to put on the ground. Once again, this is just like a weed and grass barrier, so things aren't poking through to the pool and causing tears and leaks. I know this seems like a lot of work to like set it up and take it down, but I feel like it's even more work to leave it up. If you leave a pool up all winter and fall and all that, it's just going to get green and nasty, and then you have to drain it and scrub it and clean it, and then your pool gets stained. And I feel like that's way more work than just taking it down and then resetting it back up. Plus, it's a little bit of an eyesore. I will say that I love the new pools, how they have this like brown wicker, so they just kind of fade in with the backdrop. So we have loved having this pool. Like I said, this is the 3rd year we're putting this one up, but we've had several others. So ever since Savannah has been able to swim, we have been putting up above ground pools. I know we will always get asked why we won't do an in-ground pool, but we just don't want to spend the money because we don't use it enough here in Oklahoma. There's not that very many warm months that would put the time in for how much they cost. I had one growing up, and I feel like all my dad ever did was clean it, and so we've just never really wanted it. If a house came with it, we'd probably take it, but I don't really have a desire to like destroy the yard putting in a pool.
It's lost, we can count on hope when there's rivers to cross. And I know our lives will always change, but our hearts forever stay the same.
The first year that you're setting it up, it might seem a little overwhelming, but once you've set it up once and taken it down, it really is an easy system. You just kind of start to understand it, and it just takes a few steps to get it done. It does not take long at all to set up. It will take at least 24 hours for it to fill if you get our size pool. And so right now I'm getting into it. When you're setting it up, a lot of grass and dirt gets into it, especially if it's been like sitting in a shed. So I always like to vacuum it out. I know that seems crazy, but if you start filling up your pool, it's already going to be dirty. It's already going to have grass and dirt. And so I just take a few moments to get it vacuumed, and then we have clean water as it's filling up.
Time stops when we're alone. You got my love, don't let it go. Feels like we're paper thin, one step away from caving in. When you're out with all the wild roads, and you're looking for a way back home, I'll be like that only you can see.
Now we're going to move on to the next summer home project. I've recently got these ivory dining chairs, and they are scaring me a little bit because I know they're like a linen and they could get dirty. So I wanted to pick up this Scothguard. There's all different kinds. I really wanted the stain protector, but it was like sold out everywhere in my area. So I at least grabbed this like water shield, because then if it gets wet, it's like it hovers on top of the fabric and doesn't sink in. And I feel like in the summer, this is the time to get projects like that done. You really can't spray stuff like this in your house because it will get everywhere. Plus you need the furniture or whatever you're working on to really dry out. So when it's like a nice day outside, I can spray this, it dries out quickly, and then I can put it back away. So it did say on the bottle to do 10 thin coats. So I'm doing my first layer right now. I'm going to let it dry for a little while, and then I'm going to come back and do the second thin layer here in a little bit.
Don't let it go.
And as you can see, even when it's not windy in Oklahoma, it is still windy. These chairs roll really, really easily, and it just takes one little gust of wind and they were like blowing all over the place.
I don't know. I wanna know you better. The way that you talk to me, the way that you make me feel. I don't know if you're real. I wanna put you in that spotlight, looking at you all night, put you in that spotlight. Oh, you make me feel right.
Now that the chairs have had time to dry, I'm going to go ahead and go back and do that second coat. Now, I was worried about running out of the product, so I did the main areas first. So if you see me skip a section, it's because I'm not as worried about it. And then when I have leftovers at the end, I can go back and add to it. But like at the bottom of the seat, I wasn't too worried about because there's actually always a cushion there. And I wasn't too worried about the back. I just don't think the back's going to get very dirty. I love just watching these chairs roll around. It's so funny. This is also really good if you have indoor pillows that you're putting outside. So these used to be inside my house. They are so soft and I didn't want to get rid of them, so I brought them out here. This is going to act as like a water shield. So if I forget to bring these in and it rains or it just lightly, sprinkles, it's going to help protect them. So if you want to do this to any of your outdoor furniture, it'll definitely help you out. So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be just your indoor furniture. But now we're going to move on to our lawn because I feel like we're always working on our yard. We are lawn proud. We love it to look nice and green and pretty, and we always buy these houses and we have terrible yards. We get them looking beautiful and then we move. We're going to try not to do that this time, but no promises. But we do like to aerate our yard a couple times a year. And so basically what it does is it just pokes tiny holes in the ground. It helps your grass. It helps your yard. I don't know all the science behind it. I just know our yard people tell us to do it, so we're gonna do it because we have a lot of bald spots we need to fill in. So this is actually a service that our weed control company offers, but we learned we could just buy this tool and add it to the lawnmower and do it ourselves. And so it was not that expensive at all. And so it saves us money 2 to 3 times a year when we pull it out and do it ourselves. So if there's ever a service that's being offered to you and you're kind of handy, check it out just to see if it's inexpensive to buy or something you can do, because typically it's something that you might be able to do on your own, and then you can do it, save the money, and spend it on something else that you want or need. Same with this right here. This is actually our Sunday seed. We go through them as well to help with our grass just getting nice and green and fresh. And we just picked up this little tool from Walmart, and then we can just do it ourselves. If we needed to do our full yard, they actually do like a push machine like this, but we just have a few spots in our areas we're working on, so that's why we just picked up this small handheld one. But I went ahead and took the chairs inside. They were really blowing outside. I wanted them to dry a little bit longer, and I feel like they're ready to go, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them back at my table now, and now I'm not as worried about them. If you've ever used stuff like this before, it's amazing when something spills. It just like hovers on the top of it and doesn't soak in, and it really does like protect your fabrics. The pillows that I had sprayed were dry too, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put those back in the chairs. Now we're gonna move on to the next summer home project. I love these white curtains. I think they're beautiful, they're airy, it makes the room feel bright, but in the summer, this room gets so hot, and this is actually our hot room. For some reason, the air doesn't get here as much. Now, in the winter, it's fine because you can just like cuddle up with blankets, but in the summer, when people stay in here, it's hot and it's super bright in the morning, so people can't sleep in, and I actually have family coming in. So as much as I love my white curtains, I'm gonna go ahead and take them down, fold them up, put them away, and I have my like black darkening curtains from when Chase was in here with the office. I never got rid of them. That way this room will stay cooler and my company can actually sleep in. It's just darker and cozier. This is something really easy to do if you're trying to save money with your electrical bill. Just keep like curtains for the summer when you need your house to stay darker and cooler, and then when it's winter and you kind of want the light to come in to warm up your house, you can just switch them out. Plus it kind of changes up the room. It makes it feel different throughout the year. Now, I'm going to be completely honest and let you know the white are my favorite. I don't love the gray in here, and I could order more, but I'm only going to leave these up really when like family's coming over or on super hot days. If I need to switch them out at any time, it's super easy to do, so I just hate to rebuy them when I have these that work. So I did take like the tan blanket off the bed, and I'm going to add a gray one just to kind of add in with the gray curtains, just so it kind of ties in. Now, when someone's coming, I'll just have all the white bedding, but George and Tiger do like to lay up here during the day and look out, so I just like to keep a blanket on this to keep the white comforter clean. And so now I've kind of added both of those pops of gray. Like I said, it's not my complete favorite, but this room is staying so much cooler now that we have those blackout curtains.
Every time I'm down, it's you.
The next thing that's really smart to add during the summer months is a fan. We don't have a fan on the ceiling in here. Even if you do, sometimes when your guests come, or even you, if it's a hot room or you get hot during the summer, is just to have a fan up close on you. The one I'm moving right there is an air purifier, so it's not really a fan. It helps with the air with the boys in the room. But with my sister coming, she likes a fan on her, plus she loves a loud fan. And when I found this one, I thought it was perfect because it's something I can leave out in the room and it still looks pretty, but it also functions as well. So now that that space is complete, we're going to be moving on to the next space, which is something I've been wanting to do to our bedroom. Once again, I love the white blinds in here. They're beautiful, they're airy, but we wake up to the sun every single morning. Our room even gets a little warm, and I just wanted to be able to sleep in a little bit longer or make this space dark. I get headaches, and sometimes this room is so bright in here during the day. So I wanted to get our brown like bamboo shades we had in our last house. So we're going to take these down and put up the new shades. It'll help keep the house cooler. It'll help keep it darker. Plus, I love the texture it adds to the space.
Nobody else. Then I opened my eyes and I put down my pride. I was holding you closer than anybody else. When the lights go out, it's you, babe. Every time I'm down, it's you.
We're actually doing this late at night because we had these shades for like 3 days and we were never finding time to film and put these up. But even in the morning when the sun rises, it gets our boys up early because they know it's morning time and they want to go outside. Since we put these up, we're sleeping in longer, the boys are sleeping in longer, so it's a win-win. Plus, these are super easy to install. They're actually even easier than just hanging those white blinds, so keep that in mind. And I just love like the coziness it will add. But I wanted to show you it was late. My boys like to go to bed by like 7:30 or 8. It was past 9 o'clock, and so they were over it. They didn't care if we were filming and working. They were in their beds for the night.
I've tried, written down the words to say. It is time. I've been waiting 5 days to explain how you make me feel inside. Baby, got it all figured out. Wanna do this.
What I'm loving about all the new blinds and shades out is they're kid friendly now, so there's no strings or cords. You just raise them up or down, and I love not having cords hanging. You guys know I don't like wires or cords, so I love that even our shades are doing this now. And I can pull these and stop these anywhere I want to. It's not set at levels. I can make them go all the way up, I can stop them halfway, we can go all the way down. I did have Chase put this chair back here, but once we had these dark shades in here, I just did not like that orangey with the brown. They do make different color shades for this room, and I could have gone with the lighter ones, but I felt like that defeated the purpose because the whole reason was to make the space darker. And those shades actually match our bedroom light in there. You'll see that here in a little bit. But it kind of started a mini itch to switch because I had to move this chair. Chase loves this chair, so I went and put it in his office. And it actually looks really good, but you'll have to let me know what you think.
Now I'm all confused, turning gold into sand. Don't know what you do to me. All I know is you can take my breath away. Yeah, 'cause when you touch my hand, it all goes away.
So once I got this moved, I was trying to decide what kind of chair I'm going to get for our bedroom, and I was thinking we're gonna need an ivory chair just to lighten up the space against the dark shades. And so I'm just gonna take my dining room chair in there. It's not going to stay. This is just for visual purposes, so I can see, do I like the ivory? Do I want a low back? Do I want a high back? It kind of gives me an idea on color and sizing. So when you're trying to buy new pieces for your house, use what you have so you're not like buying stuff and returning it, especially with like large pieces of furniture. I've done that. It's not fun. So use what you have to kind of make it work so you know what you're looking for when you go into the store. So here is what it looks like at night. Obviously it's super dark, so the next clip is going to be what it looks like in the morning, and I love it in the daylight. The sun shines through just enough to like lighten the space, but I love how they look inside like the white frames. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. You'll have to let me know down below in the comment section what are the summer projects you do every year, and I do want to thank Walmart again for sponsoring today's video. I have all their links down below in my description box, so definitely check that out. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Next time, so I know I'll see you next time. Next time, so I know I'll see you next time.